Welcome everybody, we're getting into game number 2 of so far an amazing start to this particular series because it is VortiX, the purple Zerg in the top, going up against mouzCC.HasuObs, the red Protoss in the left. We are playing on TSL4 Metropolis, so this is a great and interesting map for PvZ, and we're going to see exactly what HasuObs can do against VortiX as VortiX is down 0-1. So if HasuObs can take out VortiX, HasuObs will move on. VortiX, though, is showing to have some very nice management. HasuObs was kind of shady in terms of that defense. I mean, he got down a lot of cannons and he was forced to do a lot, and VortiX looked like he may have been able to put on a lot more pressure, but HasuObs barely got buildings down in time, barely got the cannons, barely got out the Void Ray, and ended up turning out an incredibly solid victory, not going for just one Void Ray and then Phoenixes, but going for 3 Void Rays and then Phoenixes, and he was successfully able to punish VortiX's last very lack of a third, which really hurt him. His natural expansion was blocked a long time by a pylon and a gateway, and it gave HasuObs the time necessary to kind of deal with VortiX's just afterthought cheese. It wasn't his goal to cheese, I would assume, because VortiX is a very strong macro player, and so I wouldn't expect him just to be going for a ridiculous 2-base cheese on Daybreak, when that can be a very nice map for VortiX's style of macro, lots of units, and really being effective in terms of just managing everything that the Zerg has in their arsenal. See what HasuObs is going to be doing. Looks like we've got a possible Nexus first out of him. I'm going to be expecting a 16 Nexus or a 17 Nexus because he does have the 17th probe queued up, and that is a nice greedy way to go. We see how HasuObs does have this probe at this. Oh, he's not going to actually block off the natural. VortiX is going to get the hatchery down. Really nice timing. HasuObs just looked at the mini-map half a second too late, and now he's going to go straight ahead and possibly try and block that third, or maybe even be aggressive. It looks like he's actually chose to throw down the Forge down before the Nexus. That may be in response to seeing the hatchery going down first, because he may still try and do some cannon aggression. As right now, if you look at VortiX, he's actually pretty blind over here in the back, unless he's going to start attacking this probe. Yeah, but it looks like HasuObs did actually want to throw down some pylons and cannons down there, but he may just do the exact same thing here at the third. But as you can see, VortiX will be able to see any kind of cannon shenanigans that would go down. But the gateway was thrown down before the cannon here. That's actually a really good thing in terms of the timings to make sure you're safely greedy. Because if you get down that gateway, your cybernetics core is faster and allows you to have a lot more openings. So we need to see next about what these players will be doing for their respective strategies. The third base is going to be going down shortly for VortiX, it would seem, as these Lings manage to pick off the probe, and they're going to see no more defense down here in terms of delaying anything. So HasuObs will be thwarted. He'll probably be forced to cancel the pylon, which he does. Nexus or hatchery, whatever it's called. It's been a long day, a long stressful day, but that's okay because we've got StarCraft, and I love StarCraft. So HasuObs is got his natural now completed. No cybercore down for him quite yet. He is getting a pylon on his main base. He could go for Stargate play again. It served him well in the last game. VortiX is still gasless, so we're not going to see anything crazily cheesy out of him. No roach bust. He could theoretically build a bunch of links, but that's so unlikely. With that speed, it's insane. I'm kind of expecting him to go for more of a macro style of play. HasuObs has not begun his +1 weapons attack quite yet. He could do that, and it can lead into a very strong 4-gate +1 type of timing that can do a lot of damage, especially if you can land a proxy pylon out here for in front of VortiX, because this spot right here is a deadly area for a proxy pylon. It's not able to be seen on the low ground by the Zerg, and can easily warp in zealots directly into the mineral line, essentially, and it leads to some very healthy harassment for the Protoss, and it kind of diminishes from the happiness of the Zerg. So now moving around over here, HasuObs is just continuing to mine from here. He actually, if you look at this, he's got a triple probe somewhere or something, because he only has one guy on this area, and looks like that may get fixed now. Yeah, so he's going to get perfectly 16 guys on that, and only 3 assimilators down. Means he may actually be going for a large push, though he still doesn't have any ground weapons upgrades, which is kind of odd. But VortiX can start pushing in, looking for any kind of higher tech. It will be a Stargate, but VortiX is actually on a bad angle to see the Stargate. He is looking at the front nicely, but HasuObs, I think he's literally going to be able to escape the scout. The Stalker is going to be able to push back that Overlord, and VortiX is not going to be able to see much of anything. The angle, oh, is he actually going to be able to see? It's going to be so close. A lot's going to depend if he can get the Stargate Scout. It looks like he's going to be so close, and he sees it. He sees it. He can see the Overlord taking a look at the fact that a void ray is being made, so we should be able to see an Evo chamber or something going down. We got a Roach Warren. The Evo chamber is already down, so with this Evo chamber down, we should be seeing Spore Crawlers being thrown down very shortly, because that void ray is imminently approaching. There's a Spore Crawler in the main, Spore Crawler in the natural, and so far no Spore Crawler in the third. Scratch that, Spore Crawler is now in the third. HasuObs is +1 on the way. His Warp Gate is almost done. He's going to be getting his fourth gateway now. HasuObs, fourth gateway, maybe. There's the fourth gateway. 4 gate +1 Zealot, maybe 5 gate +1 Zealot with the Void Ray support. And Robo's going down. So maybe possibly Immortals, or going to go for the War Prism theoretically as well. Maybe even both. Because if he can follow up this Void Ray with a very nice attack of kind of a Sentry Immortal push, it could be devastating. Because take a look at the fact that HasuObs is not throwing down any Phoenixes. He's throwing down more Gateways. He's going to go for a big, it looks like he actually is really going for a big Immortal Sentry attack. And he'll be able to do it after the Void Ray has shown Stargate play to VortiX. But VortiX is going to have to look out for the fact there's no Phoenixes. The fact that there are no Phoenixes following up this Void Ray should really tell VortiX that something is going on. But what he really needs to do is actually connect his main as natural, because those Queens are really going to be quite far delayed. Not to mention the fact that his third is separated as well. The structural debris is still very much intact. But let's see, we do have a Warp Prism coming out from HasuObs, and we're going to be able to see a lot of Warp-ins from these 6 Warp Gates. And we are watching another Void Ray coming in, so HasuObs is completely neglecting the Phoenixes. A lot of drones are going to be built by VortiX, so his economy is going to be quite strong. Already at 70 drones, and it's not even 10 minutes into the game. But will his economy be strong enough to defend against a large push out of HasuObs, as Hasu has clearly stopped his pro production at 46. He's going to go for a big attack. He's got 4 sentries. He's going to try and actually force field this ramp, and then warp in from the 6 gates and continue being aggressive with the Void Rays as well. And this is a potentially devastating move, but the Watchtower not being in favor of VortiX kind of shows that HasuObs may just be able to go forward and get this off, as VortiX, oh no, VortiX is not looking too good right now. His army is out of position here. There we have the sentries going to be moving in. They need to get the forces off. Oh, he does get the force field. The force field misses. The force field misses. And now we're seeing that everything's supposed to be, oh no, HasuObs, you just squandered an amazing opportunity. The force field was slightly off, and he didn't get it off as quickly as he could, and VortiX, with the quickest reaction time ever, actually manages to go ahead and actually move into a great spot, and actually just potentially game-losing situation, goes ahead and just is in a good spot now. But we do see the Spires going down. Now we are going to be having 6 full gas geysers mining for Muta production, and we have a 4th base going down now. HasuObs is going to be able to see this in a second, and should be able to deny this without any hesitation. And VortiX will be forced to... VortiX cancels. He does get the cancellation off. And we actually have 8 Hydras and 3 Void against 8 Hydras. Hydras should be able to pick off 1 Void. We're going to stream forward. There's 1 shots, 2 shots, 3 shots, dead Void Ray. Nice job there. And it looks like HasuObs is going to look into a little bit more Warp Prism harassment. He does have his Colossus on the way in a second. I mean, he just finished his Robotics Bay. He's got enough for Extended Thermal Lance as well. And there it is. We see an armor upgrade going down. Is there a Twilight Council to work on getting farther upgrades? It actually looks like no. So HasuObs is going to go for the old school Death Ball of the Void Rays and the Colossus, which spawned a show called Imbalance, but looks like we're going to see his Void Ray count diminishing. He's actually going to lose this last Void Ray. The Hydras are on creep. They're going to try and move in. This one Hydra is actually doing a lot of damage to the Void Ray, but HasuObs is controlling it nicely, and it looks like it will escape. But 1 Void Ray is so much weaker than 3. It's kind of scary. It's not mathematically proportional that 1 Void Ray is half as strong as 2 Void Rays. It's the more Void Rays you have, the stronger they are. And 1 Void Ray is kind of almost able to be neglected by Hydras at that point. At that point, your biggest threat is the Colossus. So VortiX should be going after the Colossus when he gets this battle in. But the fact that HasuObs has no Twilight Council is really worrisome because his food is very, very low. He's not going to have a true upgrade lead because we've got a bunch of Corruptors on the way to deal with the Colossus. And VortiX, let's see what his upgrades are right now, because his Lings are +1 carapace and the range +1 attack. So we have 1-1 versus 1-1, but that's really important in terms of the Zealot count, because the Zealot count is actually fairly decent right now from HasuObs, and they're not going to be able to two-shot those Zerglings. But VortiX is a nice spread of Ling, Roach, Hydra, Corruptor, which is a very nice army. We see starting to engage. We've got to be really careful at the angle that he will choose to engage in. He's got to be wary of those chokes. We're starting to see them moving in. Force fields are going to split that entire army. Corruption is going down on top of the Colossus. One Colossus falls. These other Corruptors, though, are getting assaulted by the Stalkers. A couple do die, but the Roach Hydra that's remaining from VortiX is very, very strong. Only one Colossus is left standing. There's no blink for the Stalkers, and that lack of blink and the lack of attack upgrades here for HasuObs is really going to hurt him in terms of this defense, because VortiX is being incredibly aggressive. We're going to watch as this Colossus is getting assaulted, and it's looking like it's not going to be too long for this world, because there it will die. And now this Roach Hydra force is doing such a good job. Grats from HasuObs, GZ, and that is going to mean game number 2 is going to VortiX. Very nice gameplay, as he was just able, barely by a smidgen, able to get into that main base of himself to block HasuObs from getting the force fields down, because if that force field had landed in faster, HasuObs almost had a free kill on that main, and this could have been a completely different game. So let's go on to game number 3 and see who will be taking this victory.